My sister-in-law, who doesn't like me as a junior high school graduate, has made fun of me about my educational background every time I saw her. It was okay for me to be looked down, but she said that she felt sorry for my husband who took me as his wife. When I heard those words, I took the high school graduation certification exam. But my sister-in-law laughed at even that and continued to make fun of me, calling me lame. A woman at the bottom of junior high school graduate really has no brain. You're an idiot to think that you'll be acceptable. Even if someone says something terrible to me, I can't say it back because I have something to think about. But why does she make fun of me so much? When I heard the truth, I was stunned beyond anger. My name is Marlene, and I'm a 35-year-old part-time housewife. My husband and I have been married for 3 years and have no child yet. I'm feeling a bit rushed because of my age, and I've recently started fertility treatment. However, although we have no children, we're on good terms with each other. My husband is also very kind, and my parents-in-law who live in the neighborhood are also kind to me. I consider myself blessed with an environment, but there was one person who was not happy with me. It's Layla, my husband's sister. My sister-in-law always makes fun of me for being a junior high school graduate. Of course, I am well aware that junior high school graduates are under scrutiny from the public. I know it limits my workability, and I have been made fun of before. Some people say that it is not an educational background that matters, but I know that there is a barrier to educational background. However, it doesn't feel very good for me to keep being ridiculed over and over again. I also felt sorry for my husband. I feel sorry for my brother. He went to a famous university and his company is good too now. It would be embarrassing for his wife to be a junior high school graduate. Soon after I got married, my sister-in-law told me so. So I studied hard to get even a little bit of recognition and finally took the high school equivalency certification exam last month. If I successfully passed, I was recognized as having the same academic ability as a high school graduate. Wouldn't this make her a junior high school graduate less ridiculed, and my husband might be less embarrassed? I thought so, but her reaction was different. Even if you get a high school diploma, a junior high school graduate is a junior high school graduate. Aren't you ashamed that you're the only one in our family who only graduated from junior high school? Even your deceased grandmother went to a girls' school. Seriously, it's childish and funny to think about being a junior high school graduate. Did you think that if you got an official certification, you would be recognized? My husband and parents-in-law warned her for mocking me, but she didn't seem to be remorseful at all. Of course, I don't want to deny my sister-in-law's thought, nor do I want her to reconsider. But to be honest, I was frustrated. When I came home from my parents-in-law's house and was depressed, my husband called out to me, "I'm proud of you for studying and passing the exam. And you didn't want to be a junior high graduate because you wanted to, did you?" The reason I graduated from junior high school was because my mother got sick. In addition, we are a single mother family and have few relatives to rely on. My maternal grandparents had passed away, so I had no choice but to work. Of course, my mother had insurance, but it was not enough to cover her medical treatment and living expenses. If I had the knowledge I have now as an adult, I might have chosen a different path, but at that time I was doing my best and believed that I could get by if I worked. However, I also have reasons why I can't tell my sister-in-law back. After working and earning a certain amount of salary, I could have gone to a night school, but I made excuses to myself that I was busy with work and visiting my mother every day. In addition, when my mother died from suffering illness year before I met my husband, and I had the opportunity to go to school at that time. At least if I had taken the exam by that time, I might not have been ridiculed for being a junior high school graduate. That's why when my sister-in-law made fun of me, I couldn't say it back. A little regret makes me back off. Academic qualifications are not everything, but I think education is a testament to one's hard work. I may not need Layla's approval, but I want to be your wife and not embarrass you. My husband seems unhappy with my words. I've never been embarrassed. I appreciate your thoughts, but I think you're the best wife in the world, so you don't have to push yourself too hard. Maybe it's because he's such a gentle husband that I want to do my best. Then I looked up correspondence colleges, online colleges, and night vocational schools. To be honest, there is a part of me that thinks that studying is interesting. My husband also told me that if there was something I wanted to learn, he would support me in going to school. I think it's a really blessed environment. However, since I am in the middle of fertility treatment, it will be difficult to decide on a career path right now. I still have a long way to go, so I was thinking about taking my time deciding on school. One day, my sister-in-law's marriage was decided. When my sister-in-law called me in to my parents-in-law's house to talk to me, she asked me not to participate in the wedding. My fiancé is a very good person. His company's better than my brother's, and the people I know are all rich people. So I don't want people to think that I have a middle school graduate among my family. I'm sorry, but Marlon won't even be at the wedding. I don't want him or anyone around him to know your existence. My sister-in-law, of course, who naturally says that I'm bad for being a junior high school graduate, and my husband and parents-in-law were opposed to it. Don't kid yourself. How far can you make a fool of Marlon? If you don't allow Marlon to attend, I won't attend either. For my sister-in-law, her husband is a proud brother who graduated from a famous university and works for a large company. As expected, my sister-in-law would be inconvenient that if he doesn't attend, she came to compromise, so I decided to attend the wedding. I don't really want to attend my sister-in-law's wedding, but I decided to attend for my husband and parents-in-law who were angry at me. However, for my sister-in-law's wedding, I was called upon to help with the preparations. I've decided to let you participate even you're a junior high school graduate in the ceremony, so you have to help me. That's so like what my sister-in-law says. Even though I didn't ask for that, I swallowed my words because I still wanted to celebrate her. Welcome boards, opening movies, arrangement of gifts, handwritten invitations, and all the other hassles are imposed on me. Even the after-party was communicated with my sister-in-law's friend and groom's friend who were introduced by me and my sister-in-law. The only preparation my sister-in-law did was to go to a beauty salon and polish herself. My husband was angry that I had to do all the work, and of course he scolded my sister-in-law every time she came to the house. However, it doesn't affect my sister-in-law at all, and she doesn't feel bad about it either. You can't live as a junior high school graduate if people don't like you. You're expected to help me out at least. I think you flattered to marry my boarder, didn't you? If you're not smart enough, you can't live without relying on a man. It was beyond my limit. I was also annoyed by her words. It's true that I don't have an academic background, and I'm not going to deny it, but I've tried my best to live on my own. Once your wedding is over, I won't be involved again. After that, you don't have to think of me as a relative. I think my sister-in-law was a little confused when I said it back clearly for the first time. However, he seemed angry at being rebutted and immediately responded. It's better that way. A lowly woman like you is the type of race I hate the most, even though you have no brain and only your looks is your strength. Saying that, Maisha left our house. Most of the preparations are done, so we won't see each other again until the wedding. My husband told me that I didn't need to participate because I had been told so far, but if I suddenly decided not to participate, it would be troublesome anyway, and I didn't want my parents-in-law to worry about us. Also, I was annoyed by what she would say, so I decided to attend the wedding at the last minute and leave as soon as the reception was over. When the wedding is over, my relationship with my sister-in-law will end, and she will also move out of her parents' in-laws' house, so I won't see her often. On the day of the wedding, my husband and I headed to the wedding venue at different times. They were shooting a family photo, and I definitely didn't want to be in it. Then, while I was in a taxi on the way, I received a call from my husband. When I told him that I was almost there, he told me, "You don't come, but the venue is just a few steps away." Even though I can see the building, while I was thinking about this, the police and an ambulance entered the venue in front. What's going on? I was surprised, but my husband told me I could just take a taxi and go home. The wedding will be canceled, I think. Layla went on a rampage and shoved the groom's sister. It's a mess. The stories I heard from my husband were really unbelievably shocking. Apparently, the sister-in-law told her fiancé that she didn't want his sister to attend the wedding either. The reason is that, like me, the groom's sister was a junior high school graduate. The groom's parents were the so-called bad parents who did not put any money into the house. Therefore, for the sake of superiority, in order to send the groom to school properly, the groom's sister decided to work immediately. At the age of 18, she worked in the night world and sent his younger brother to high school and college. But that doesn't concern my sister-in-law. I'm sure she couldn't forgive her just because she was a junior high school graduate. Also, since I was nearby, it seems that her frustration was accumulating. The sister-in-law told the groom's sister not to come to the wedding, and the sister agreed. However, she couldn't overcome the desire to celebrate the wedding of her only brother. When the groom's sister went to the venue with the intention of secretly watching from a distance, she was found by the groom's friends and taken to the waiting room. When the sister-in-law saw the groom's sister, she cried and made a comment that made fun of the junior high school graduate. And she was condemned by the groom, and friends around him was furious and shoved the groom's sister and injured. When the groom told her that he would not get married, her anger exploded even more. It seems that she went on such a rampage that she messed up the venue, and eventually the police was called in. She was also screaming and calling out my name. I don't know what she was going to do when she found me, but that's why my husband told me not to come. After listening to the story, I couldn't say anything anymore. I am stunned by how much she hates junior high school graduates. And a few days after the canceled wedding, my sister-in-law suddenly came to our house. The reason is that in order to get my fiancé and his sister to forgive her, she wants me to persuade them. Are you serious? I asked. If you talk about me well, they will think I'm not making fun of junior high school graduates, right? Besides, if you're both junior high school graduates, you can understand each other, right? I'm afraid I'm going to be ruined. Will you cooperate? I've already heard from my husband that she has broken up with her fiancé. No matter how much my sister-in-law apologized from the bottom of her heart, there's no way she couldn't be forgiven just because I, as a stranger to them, talked to them. She really didn't regret anything, and I was really angry that my sister-in-law made fun of me until our relationship was supposed to be over after the wedding. You're not a relative or anything. Please go home. When I told her that, my sister-in-law began to burst into tears. Why don't you cooperate? You don't care if my marriage is ruined. When I tell her that I have nothing to do with her and it won't improve the situation, my sister-in-law suddenly tells me that she lost her ex-boyfriend to a low-educated woman a few years ago. She hated low-education people because of her ex-boyfriend, who chose a woman who was not better than her, and that's why she was so hard on me and my fiancé's sister, who are junior high school graduates. She started talking about things like that. I've been hurt in the past, so I'm really not good at being around poorly educated. She stared at me with eyes and tears, but it was a fool for me. In the first place, the person who took away your ex-boyfriend and me and your fiancé's sister are different people. Why do I need to be looked down by you? When I look at my sister-in-law with cold eyes, she complains about how her trauma is going on. In the first place, I thought that it was because she is the kind of person who cares educational background so much. And when her ex-boyfriend was taken away, then she started caring more about the woman's educational background. You've made me a fool many times, and I'm not going to lie myself to help you now. I think it's great that you graduated from college, but as a person you are brainless. You're a stranger to me, and please don't ever come to my house. Saying that, I kicked my sister-in-law out the front door. I'm sorry, Marlon. I'm sorry for what I've done. I'm sorry. My sister-in-law crying outside is noisy, but I don't care about it anymore. I think I did what I had to do until the end. If my sister-in-law is good enough to look down on me, she can wipe her ass herself. Since then, my sister-in-law has broken up, and it seems that her fiancé is demanding alimony. They are also being charged for canceling their wedding and repairing the ceremony hall, where she violently damaged. In the end, my sister-in-law was never forgiven. On top of that, I heard that his friends leaked that I had helped out prepare for the wedding, further eroding her credibility. My parents-in-law also gave up on following my sister-in-law and told her to pay it off alone. Of course, my husband says he won't to help either. Instead of getting married, my sister-in-law ended up with millions of debts and was kicked out by the parents. It seems that she still runs her company in order to continue to pay off debts, but her spirit is probably in shreds after being forced to make monthly payments and having their engagement called off. Now that there is no one to help her, I think she is having a very hard time, but I don't want to sympathize with her. She deserves for what she did. And now, 6 months after the uproar, I found out that I was pregnant and my house is in a festive mood. My parents-in-law are also very happy and buy me a toy even though the baby hasn't been born yet. And since I'm having a baby, I decided to enroll in an online university. I think I will be busy with housework, studying, and childcare, but I decided to do what I want to do with all my heart so that I don't regret it. My sister-in-law doesn't make fun of me anymore, but I want to live my life more proudly. And I want to create a warm family with my beloved husband and unborn child.